How many of you would like to get very, very rich overnight? Have you ever wanted to get rich overnight? Make millions starting with nothing? Own your own private jet and a fleet of exotic cars? How about instantaneously being better looking to the opposite sex? Well, if you'll just order my stock market product or service, all of your wildest dreams will come true.
If you vote for me, all of your wildest dreams will come true.
Oh, my trading friends. Once again, I believe that we need to have a discussion on trading gurus out there and who you give your money to and what you should and shouldn't expect and what's going on out there. And the reason that this has been on my mind this weekend, today is the last day of February, February 28th. It's a Sunday. But Friday, just this last Friday, I saw another order come down. This one was not an FTC order. This one was from the State Attorney Generals of California for another quote-unquote stock market guru who was giving investment advice, or I didn't read through the whole report, so I'm not exactly sure what they got him on, but something nefarious, something inappropriate or incorrect. And of course, most of you have heard my dissertation or feelings on the raging bull, Jason Bonds, and that whole fiasco of just get rich quick. I'm the most amazing trader in the world. Follow me, and I will lead you down the golden path. That whole world. So those of you that have been following me for a while know sort of my history, that I started out as a stockbroker in 1987, went into venture capital, ran a multi-state financial planning firm. My background was investing, and in about 2000, I discovered the world of financial education. I was able to work with some really cool people, Robert Kiyosaki amongst just a group of individuals that really were instrumental in teaching me a lot about finance and investing. But that world has a dark side to it. The quote-unquote financial education, financial training world, it has a dark side to it. And it may very well have a worse reputation than used car salesmen or timeshares in terms of just how the public perceives that, or maybe the results or lack thereof that they have gotten from these quote-unquote gurus out there that sell you something. They sell you a product or a service or what have you, and entice you through the idea of greed, right? We're going to get you rich. And so I just want to talk about that here again, as you see another stipulation order come through from the state attorneys general, and all of these issues that come up from time to time in this industry. My wife and I do have a timeshare. We have a timeshare that we have had for going on almost 20 years now. It's up in by Park City, Utah. It's a little cabin up in the mountains, and we love it. We absolutely love it. We did not pay $25,000 for it on the open market. We bought it in the secondary market for $3,000. And the $1,100 a year in maintenance fees that we pay on that for 10 days a year. We get 5 days in the summer, we get 5 days in the winter. We love it. We have built family memories there with our kids. It's fantastic. It's one of the best investments that we've ever made. And yet, if you talk to, I would say probably the majority of people that own timeshares, they're not going to have a very good rating or favorable outlook on the timeshare industry and their experiences, right? And so it's not always necessarily the product, it is how the product is handled or delivered. I might have a different experience with my timeshare if I had paid a retail price of $25,000 for it instead of the secondary market price of $3,000. I don't know. But I think the bottom line here that I'm trying to draw is that financial education, it can be good or bad. It's a double-edged sword, and there are, I don't want to call them charlatans, but there are a lot of people out there that are just simply pushing the greed factor of buy my product, buy my service, and we'll show you how to get rich in the stock market. And the reality is, folks, that nobody knows. There are tools out there and there's education that can help us. But if you're to ask me what the market, and again, we're sitting here on a Sunday at 3:18 p.m. Mountain Time, my time, the futures open up here. I've got a large position on in the long position in the MES, in the micros. Obviously, I hope the market goes up over the next week because I'm in a long position, but I don't know. And I would never purport to know. I like to refer to myself as being market agnostic. We just react to whatever the market brings us. And so I want to sort of bill myself, guys, and maybe help you guys understand what to look for as you're going forward. And it should be no guarantees. It sounds crazy that somebody would ask you to give you their money for a product or a service and provide no guarantees, but that is what is essentially the correct thing to do in the stock market. This last stipulation order that I saw come through on Friday, shutting someone down in California, again, was from the state attorneys general. More often than not, it comes from the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission. And one of the things that they talk about is making promises that you cannot keep. And so one of the things that I talk about with my traders every single day before we jump into the markets is that right here, trading involves substantial risk. Not everybody should be in the market. It's not for everybody. And we cannot and will not guarantee that you will not lose money or even that you will make money based on whatever information that we have, because there are no guarantees in the marketplace. Number two, we're not licensed financial advisors. We're not financial planners or stockbrokers. There is no fiduciary process that is going on in these programs where someone is sitting down with you and saying, well, what are your risk tolerances? Should you or shouldn't you be putting all of your life savings into GameStop right now, or whatever other crazy thing people do out there? There's none of that going on. And, the government disclaimer, last but not least, is probably the most important of all. There are risks, and you need to be aware of them and willing to accept them. So often we're not even aware. We are not even aware of what the risks are. And the government disclaimer right there, don't trade with money you can't afford to lose. There's a whole different world between trading and investing, right? Those are different things. And so people don't like to lead with stuff like this that are trying to entice you to give you their money, for you to give them your money, because that's obviously not a great sales pitch. But we do. And one of the key things that we try to really stress is that position sizing is key. If one trade makes or breaks you, then you've probably broken the position sizing rule. You've gone too big on one single trade. And if that trade goes against you, it shouldn't make or break you, okay? That's not what we preach. You've broken the rule and gone against what we preach, and that is that one single trade should never make or break you. And you hear all the time about people, I followed this guy, I followed this trade, I did this, I lost 20 grand, I lost 50 grand. I hate to tell you, but that's on you. That's not on them. That's on you for over position sizing and not understanding what the risk of a trade is. My dad growing up, I'm a big dirt biker. That's what I love to do. And one of the rules my dad had as a kid was if you can't kickstart your own dirt bike, you can't ride it. If you can't start it, you can't ride it. If you drop it and you can't pick it up by yourself, you can't ride it. Guys, if you can't figure out what the risk in a trade is, you shouldn't be trading. Period. If you have to ask somebody, what is the risk in this trade? That's your answer right there, that you are not qualified to do that trade. Okay? It's just crazy that we put risk in place. So what is it that I promise in my trading programs? Here's my promise. I promise no guarantee of profits. I promise no personalized advice, no earnings claims, and no investment recommendation. No guarantee of profits. Guys, anybody that guarantees you profits, shake their hand nicely and walk away quickly, because that is not reality, and no one has the ability to do that. Okay? Number two, no personalized advice. Well, here's my situation. What should I do? Guys, I don't know. It's been a long, long time since I've been a licensed investment advisor. I'm not working in a fiduciary responsibility right now, and I don't have the ability or the legal authority to give you personalized advice. So I won't. I'm just going to show you what I do. Earnings claims, that's probably the big one that the FTC clamps down on. Look, I just made $5,000 today. You can make $5,000 a day too, and we can do this every day, day after day after day. Because you know that's not how it works, right? And just because one person accomplishes one thing doesn't mean all people can accomplish that same thing. And it certainly doesn't mean that you can extrapolate that result out day after day after day, right? So there are no earnings claims. There's only potential. And then last but not least, no investment recommendations. Again, you need to be a licensed registered investment advisor or have licensing of some kind to be able to make recommendations to individuals. So again, I just show people what I do. If you find value in that, that's fine. But my mantra, guys, my mantra is that I am the anti-guru guru, okay? My motto here is that this is the place where you get no guarantees for your subscription dollars. It's an interesting sales line, I know. This is the place where you get no guarantees for your subscription dollars. But that's how we have to do this to be legally compliant and to do you the service that you basically deserve, right? Because if anybody is promising you something in the stock market, that's just not how the market works. So guys, this is a key thing just to remember. When somebody is trying to get you to pay for their services of some kind, that's fine. I love my timeshare. I find value in my timeshare. I have found value in my financial education. I have taken so many classes, so many mastermind groups, so many coaching sessions, hired so many mentors and worked with so many people for hundreds, if not thousands of hours now over the last 3 decades of my life. And I have found tremendous value in that. But it doesn't mean that everybody has your best interests at heart. So make sure, guys, if you're working with somebody, that you feel good about what they do. I have 2 programs that I work in. One is called the Trade with Scott program, or the 0 day to expiration trading system. It is essentially where we do trade every single day of the week, Monday through Friday. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we are in a live Zoom session where we live trade the SPX, the S&P 500. So it's a day trade program. And then Tuesdays and Thursdays, we have a bonus trade, and then every Monday we put on a 4-day to expiration trade. So it's a weekly trade. So we've got all kinds of stuff going on inside of this program. It's a little bit more frenetic. It's a little bit more active. Day trading, as you know, is a little bit more intensive. And then I also have a different program called the Asymmetric Investing System, which is basically a very passive approach. It is risk management focused. It takes 5 minutes a day. But either one of those is something that you can check out for free for 1 day. We do have a 1-day free trial in each of those programs that you can come join us for a day, get an idea of how it works and what it does. If you want to take a look at it, that's fine. If you don't, that's fine as well. But again, guys, every single time I see a stipulation order come down or some decree from the FTC on one of these quote-unquote trading gurus, it makes me cringe, because that reflects poorly on all of us. And remember that education, folks, it's valuable. It's not a silver bullet. It's not a silver bullet, and it will not guarantee you success. So just be careful with the promises that people are making to you in the stock market.